Hey there, and welcome to today's video. My name is Ricky Hayes, and is dropshipping dead? And when I say that, is it dead in 2024? This topic's come up many times. This is nothing new at all. In fact, I've made many videos on it. Now, firstly, I wanted to sort of say it's been a while since I've made these. I've been focusing on sort of Debutify, and that sort of continues to be my focus, but I've missed doing this. And I do want to give value back. So I wanted to start with these. I'm not going to be doing amazing editing in these. It's just purely just off the top of my head. I'll make some notes. And it's sort of going back to my grassroots a lot more of the type of content I enjoy the most, which is just authentic, natural content. And I think that aligns best to sort of how I provide genuine support to you all that are doing dropshipping and have legitimate concerns. Now, let's talk about this further. Dropshipping is not dead, right? It never will die. It's just the model has evolved. Okay, and again, it's important that we sort of talk about this because dropshipping is probably one of the most competitive and hardest models in the world. In terms of people do make a lot of money, but there's a lot of truths behind it. And a lot of the truths come from the fact that dropshipping is a very competitive, expensive model and it doesn't have stability. Okay. And I think it's a great idea. I love dropshipping. I've always loved it. I love the idea that you can start for next to nothing, in fact, for nothing, and build a business. Okay. The problem with that is that it takes time and money to build a proper business at the start. You really don't really have a business. You just have a store, right? So if you think about it, that you're just one of those pop-up stores in a market, okay? But even in a market, you have to pay a fee to have that placement, right? With this, you pay literally nothing. You set up your Shopify store, you use something like Debutify to set up your theme, build all the branding, and then you focus on ads. In the past, it's been Facebook. Now it's TikTok. And obviously that works quite well, but there's some realities that sort of need to sink in here. The main issue with the dropshipping model is stability. Okay. And when I say stability is that most dropshippers, if you get a winning product, your store usually fizzles out within a few months, 2 to 3 months, right? And that's why dropshippers make store after store, ad account after ad account, and so on and so forth. And while it works, it's exhausting. Okay. And like I see all the screenshots all the time of people making 100K, 200K, whatever they might look like. And obviously we're coming into Q4 and that will be strong realities and people will make more money in Q4 than they did in all the other 3 quarters just due to the nature of the festive time, which is fantastic, right? However, when you think about it over the course of a 12-month period, if you're dropshipping, sadly seeing so many people where they might get a winning product, and I've had it many times too, where I had one of my first winning products was the gyro bowl, and I made 50K from it. And I remember after paying influencers, fulfilling the orders, customer service, the tools, and that was needed, I made nothing. Okay, and that was a big lesson for me. And I've made stores since, and I've made brands since, and it's been very hard to make profit. And now with the fact that COVID's come into play, COVID's obviously ended, but we've seen this huge surgence in brick and mortar stores going online. We've seen competitiveness increase, cost per click increase, costs increase across the board. We're seeing that naturally dropshipping, that it's a model that doesn't really have that stability, especially over the long term, is the real problem. So that's why I sort of say that, to me, I think dropshipping is fantastic, but the inherent problem is stability. Okay. And the other part as well is that TikTok is going to get saturated. It's already getting saturated, right? I'm already seeing CPMs increase, hearing feedback and that. Now, I don't run any dropshipping brands right now. I'm focused on Debutify, and that's sort of where my focus continues to lie. But you need to factor in that, a lot of people move from Facebook to TikTok because you don't get ad account suspensions. The tool is much easier, much cheaper cost per acquisition, which is true. It honestly, I feel, is actually better than Facebook in terms of its usability as well. But we're starting to see compliance becoming a bigger issue, and we're starting to see CPMs increase. And naturally, once those increase, they never come down. They just don't. That's just a reality. So what's after TikTok? Okay, we've got to think ahead. Now, that might be still a couple of years away, but if you think about it, most dropshippers are young, predominant males, that are usually about 18 to 30 years old. And you think about the course of your life, if you want to leave the 9 to 5, which is what dropshipping is sold as a lot of the time, is to escape the grind, the 9 to 5. A couple of years of really good times is not going to support you for the next 30, 40 years. So that inherently, I have to fix my screen settings, it seems. Sorry. That inherently becomes a problem. And so it's really important to keep that in mind. So how do you work around this, right? Now, first case is always accept the fact that TikTok's going to become more expensive. Regulation will become more expensive. When you do, you can plan ahead. Secondly, selling trending products is great and all, and I would suggest definitely doing that as a great starting point, but solve a problem. Becomes very easy to do the marketing, to make creatives. There's tons of videos on YouTube, and I plan to do more on that. I just use Camtasia. I'm no editing genius by any means. But the selling trending products works great and all, but the problem also is inherently in the word trending. Things will trend, and then they'll trend down. Okay, you want something that provides more stability, right? So fashion, if you look at fashion, women will always want to buy dresses, okay, but they might buy them more in their summertime and less in others where they buy a different type of dress, okay? That's how the brands make the big money, right? You look at Shopify and you look at where most of their revenue comes from, and it comes from Shopify Plus, which are their big brands. So what I suggest for people doing dropshipping is start with dropshipping, it's great, and then move into dropshipping, branded dropshipping. Okay, so it's not just about branding your product, okay, making it, it's not just about adding a logo on it, it's making sure the product is actually really good. Test the product, make sure the product is genuinely good, okay, just test it, and if not, go to suppliers, okay, especially if you have a product that's doing well. And when I say doing well, I'd probably say 5-10 orders a day. Take it very seriously for like a week, and then go to Alibaba and find suppliers and work with them on this. It does make a big difference. You think about all the things that dropshippers and all our lives that we love. We love great products, and stuff ourselves. We want quality. It's the exact same for your customer. So how you do that is you use tools like Alibaba to improve the product quality, and then you use tools like ShipBob, which is a fulfillment partner. They'll only work with certain people, using doing a minimum, amount a lot of the time. They might open an account for you, but you can use ShipBob. Now, why I like ShipBob is just simply because the benchmarks, right? It is a fantastic platform. It's a listed company, I believe. It's got a huge amount of investment in it, over 50 fulfillment centers around the world. So it pretty much caters to everyone, regardless of your circumstance. It might be a little, because the 3PL industry is very competitive, prices are very relatable to each other, and they make their money through obviously fulfillment. They add margin on that, and they work strongly with their couriers to make sure that their prices are down as much as possible. So that's how they make their margin, because it is thin margin for them. Now, how you do that as well is you then factor that into your product price. You might add another 5-10% or add shipping. Okay, I remember one of the other things I used to do is add free shipping at checkout to help with conversions, but that chews too much in your margin. You need to add shipping. On average now, it's usually $10-15 because that's just the way it is now. Now, again, so why build a dropshipping brand? A lot of dropshippers will ask inherently, why build a brand when I can just build another store? Well, again, if you're someone like me and you want stability, consistency, then that's why you phase into building a brand, okay? And if you look at, for instance, if you're watching this video and you trust what I say, and you relate to me, I've got a personal brand, right? That personal brand is something where I make videos consistently, upload them, provide value, support, and then you trust me. And, like a lot of YouTubers and stuff, sell courses, sell mentoring, affiliate links, and you make that return through providing value to people. They provide it back over time, right? So that's the key, right? That's why a lot of dropshippers become YouTubers, because there's a lot more profit in making a YouTube personal brand than it is a dropshipping business, because you have stability. Once you upload those videos, to give you an idea, they're always there. They last long term. You'll get consistency of clients through the door, and you just sort of keep providing that value to your community, and it comes back. And uploading to YouTube only costs a mic, a camera, some desktop software, and then basically you have it all set up. And that's what I'm trying to say. It's the exact same as building a brand, right? You build the fundamentals, you invest, and then you get what's the most important thing, which is free purchases, which is lifetime value. You look at all these screenshots that they show and see revenue and stuff, but when you look at the analytics on Shopify, you usually see lifetime value, which is repeat purchases, is usually like a couple of percent, which is exceptionally low. Okay, when I was building brands and the brands I've worked with, you can tell immediately between a dropshipping brand and a dropshipping business and a brand. They get 30, 40, 50% people repeat purchase. They still have difficulties in their business, okay, because it's still hard between fulfillment, staff, app costs. A lot of them get agencies. It's expensive, but they survive and don't fall under because they get a lot of repeat customers. Okay, and that's sort of what I'm trying to sort of teach you here, and using tools like Shipbob, because dropshipping is basically just a fulfillment method. At the end of the day, it's pitched as something to escape the 9-to-5 grind, make money in a lot of ways quite quick and easily. But the reality is that doesn't usually work out over the long term, because you're going to have taxes. You'll have your individual taxes. You'll have probably company taxes. You'll have other refunds, chargebacks, so on and so forth, ad account suspensions. So by building a brand, you avoid most of this, and you're building something. And then once you start building dropshipping brands, okay, and you're getting good lifetime value, okay, you can build another, because it is a repeatable model. You can then hire staff from overseas to handle customer service. You can use the same tools, the same methodologies, okay, because for instance, I'm building an email marketing app, okay, for Day Beautify. We get a lot of feedback about it, and because one of the things that helps a lot with repeat purchases is abandoned cart email. Now we're building this extensive email marketing app that'll help with that, okay, as well as campaigns and so forth. And that's where you pay a subscription for an email marketing app. You might pay $100 a month, and you can make $5,000. And pretty much nearly all of that's profit, because you don't pay anything other than the $100. You just send out the email. Oh, well, obviously inventory costs and stuff as well, I should say. But otherwise, it's pretty much 100% profit. So by using tools like Shipbob, you can get fast logistics, integrates. It's very seamless, right? Their tool is it's very seamless. Using tools like Day Beautify to build your storefront, build your branding, a really nice logo. I love AI, but don't just use AI for it. I would suggest really think about what your brand you want it to represent, because it does make a difference, okay? Because that's what people are going to associate you with. If you look at like Gucci, right? You know the logo, the perception, and people pay a lot of money for it. They might not get as many purchases as a cheaper, sort of large business like here in Australia, like Kmart, where they'd get heaps. But their margins, they might get one purchase for $1,000, and their margins would be insane. And that's the same probably total amount of profit that Kmart makes through doing quantity. So they do quality over quantity, okay? And so that's building a brand gives you more flexibility. you can usually up the price, and people will pay it because they want the experience. As long as they get good customer service, which is easy to do nowadays, right? There's so many tools, like even Shopify have plenty of free tools for it. You got the free live chat. You can, there's plenty of live chat third-party tools that have free baseline models, and they're very, very cheap, and you can automate a lot of it now, especially thanks to AI as well. The ShipBob, you just basically send it from Alibaba to their warehouse, and they will handle the rest, and you'll just get daily reports. It's really that simple. Use a tool like Beautify to just basically build out your storefront and then optimize it for conversions. And like on that note, with Beautify, where I'm really pushing it, analytics driven, AI driven, a lot more granular with our add-on widgets, to help boost those front end sales as well. But then you focus on the back end, you do email marketing and stuff. So, and you'll find that it is very copy paste. But what you're doing is you're building up this one stable, so you have consistency of income, and then you build another one, and then you build another one. Okay. Instead of building this one, get some sales, it dies, burn the store, right? You build it up, build it into a brand, build it up again until you get some stability, because then you can escape the 9 to 5 and you can make sure that you're stable in doing it. Okay. And then you can do another. I'm not saying the dropshipping model is bad or whatever. It's just this model definitely works better. I'm seeing a lot of people, they don't really talk about building a dropshipping brand. They talk about just dropshipping because it gets the most views and people want to get on board, which is great. I get it, it works. But if you start with dropshipping and build into a dropshipping brand, and again, when I say about this, you're looking at 6-12 months. I'm not saying you can't build those other stores in the meantime, but you do this so that it buffers the fact that we all know that trending products come and die. Okay, so you're buffering it by you always have this stable income, because do you want to leave your college or 9 to 5 job or whatever, and you don't want to go back, do you? So you need stability. And that's the hardest thing in dropshipping, is stability. That's why that you always see on YouTube and stuff in the dropshipping space, it's all about, winning products for the month, new method to find winning products, the same type of content, because it's always a spinning circle. And the way to get out of that spinning circle is to accept that circle and then build it into a dropshipping brand. So you can still be at home or whatever, nothing about changes. You just actually build something that gives you stability. The downside with that naturally is that it means you're going to have to reinvest. Okay, so in the short term, which is 3-6 months at least, you're going to have to reinvest. Okay, and I want people to understand that reinvesting is not a bad thing. That's how proper businesses are built. Okay, most of the time, most businesses statistically fail 95% just here in Australia alone within the first 2 years, because people make profit, they then spend it, but they don't even factor in things like that taxes, that they're going to have to pay company taxes, individual taxes, quarterly taxes, like obviously it's different per country, but you sort of get my point. And so thinking a bit further ahead, pivoting your model a little bit, but fundamentally doing the same in reinvesting will sort of get you around that. And this will work forever, okay? This will always work forever, and this will mean that you're ahead of most dropshippers, okay? I really wanted to sort of share this with you as I start doing this. I'm looking at doing 1 to 2 videos a week. As I said, I'm going to be making videos on how to find winning products, store reviews and so on and so forth as well as we go down this. But when I'm doing these, to me, that's really important from everything I've learned from building dropshipping businesses, building D2C brands, direct to consumer brands, and now building a software brand and growing that brand. I can tell you that it's hard, but the key that you need is stability. And this is sort of how you get stability. And so it just requires fundamentally the same things, but just with some twists, okay? There's a reason that ShipBob makes so much money and gets so much investors, because they have so many brands using them, okay? So many small brands, huge brands, as you can see, just looking at this, You can see news store, they cater from news stores all the way to 10,000 orders a month. Okay. And 10,000 plus, I should say. And so, they know that, because in order to have over 50 plus warehouses, they have to be having a lot of business. So there's a lot of business out there. And so a lot of people are still drop shipping. I can tell you now, like even big companies, they drop ship. And what they do is they use things like local suppliers, they use fulfillment warehouses, because one of the hardest parts is fulfillment, right? Having a warehouse is expensive, very expensive. And so doing tools like this allow you to get drop shipping, but you get faster shipping times, you get your branding, and you get better quality product. So that's some of the things I'm going to be talking about is, again, more shipping delivery strategies, how to communicate with Alibaba suppliers for better product quality. I usually, to give you an idea, get at least 3 samples from 3 different suppliers of just their base product, and see, it's not just about the product, it's about how fast they ship to you, their communication, because you want to have a reliable supplier. If you speak to most brand owners, they'll always say one of the hardest things is reliable suppliers, consistent, reliable, stable suppliers. So you also need to sort of factor in that too. So that's where I think that, like, I want this sort of channel to go. I want to, from my experience, be 100% transparent. Like I said, I don't run any brands right now. So, I'm going to be showing how to, integrate TikTok with Shopify. I'm going to be showing things like that, but I can't show exact case studies because I don't do it. Okay. I can show case studies of clients using Day Beautify and stuff, but I can't show exact case studies because I don't do it myself right now, but I know how the methodology works. And I feel that's important for me to be transparent with upfront, because there is a lot of bad actors in the sort of in the drop shipping space, and I just want to be perfectly frank about this from the beginning. I know that if I built a drop shipping business, I could quite easily do it, but honestly, I just don't have the time to do it because I'm focused on Day Beautify. I really want to make Day Beautify great to help the community, and so that's why I'm finding time to do these videos. They're not great videos, but I wanted to be sort of transparent with you about it. So I do hope you enjoy this. If you did like this, please be sure to like, comment any feedback you have down below. I really want to know, like, what type of content that you're after. I'm pretty sure I have a pretty good idea, but I always want to sort of see that anyway. If you do like my content, please subscribe. If you are interested in using Day Beautify, which is a free theme that has paid features, there's a link down below as well. You just sign up, log into our login portal, and you can download it. There's a lot of exciting features coming in play just in the coming weeks, where we're really getting the ball kicking. We've got a review app as well that, in all honesty, needs some improvement, but it's free to help you get reviews, and you can import them from AliExpress. And we also, most importantly, have an email marketing app. Okay, and I'm going to be talking a lot more about email marketing, because email marketing in the D2C space is the number one profit driver. I'm sure a number of you know Klaviyo. Well, I've driven a lot of experience from using Klaviyo from my agency to build our own email marketing app that really streamlines a lot of work. And so I want to get a lot of people into the beta and stuff as well, which is in the next 6 months, to really use it and get feedback and sort of help support there as well. So I do hope you enjoy this content. I'll catch you in the next coming days as I make more content like this style. I hope you do like it. I will, as I said, make more interactive videos based on this one, but I think that this one was just suitable just for a simple sort of chat type one. Other than that, I appreciate your time. I hope you have a lovely day. Take care and goodbye.